What's going on, guys? This is Bobby and this is Project Unity. I just wanted to make a quick video just to kind of describe exactly what my channel means and exactly what my goal is here. My goal is to have everybody do their own research eventually, but my platform here is to show that there is not one source of news. Everybody lives in their own echo chamber. They live in their own little world where they only watch Fox News, or they only watch CNN, MSNBC. They only listen to certain sources. And if you bring up a source in an argument, they get, they get testy and say, well, that source isn't reliable because it's this and it's that. And you know what? I just have to say that, what's dividing this country right now is just a bunch of nonsense. It's corporate America and these big multi-billion-dollar media corporations that are owned by the same people, by the way, that are all pitting people against each other and saying stuff that isn't not fact. None of it is fact. It's all speculation. Most of it is speculation, I should say. But if you read through the lines and you go through and you listen to everything, you get across the truth. And then that's what I do. I spend my time researching things. I spend time looking at the facts and looking at, okay, so if this happens and this happens, and these people are saying this thing and this over here, and these people are saying this thing over here, you got to kind of put it together to form an opinion. And that's what I hope that everybody should be able to do. But unfortunately, that's not the case nowadays. Everybody is just living in their echo chamber where they only hear one source of news and they only hear one perspective. Therefore, it's the truth. And when they get countered by that, by somebody else, it's met with hostility and even violence at some points. So my goal is to get people together. That's why I call it Project Unity. I want people to unify. I don't want people to be divided. I hate the division in this country. I look at what's going on, and it really sickens me to see these ultra right and ultra left people. Me, I'm a libertarian. I'm registered as a libertarian. I never sit here and agree with one side. I know that there's one side that has their merit, the other side has their merit, and you kind of combine the two, and then that's usually where I land. I don't look at things through a narrow view of just right wing or left wing. However, a lot of people in this country do, and see that there lies the problem. So what my goal is, and what my biggest hope is, to get people to start researching on their own, and to get people to start looking at things through a different perspective, and realize that if you're an ultra conservative and you watch Fox News and you only trust Sean Hannity and these guys, you don't think that they're getting paid millions of dollars to tell you an agenda, just like CNN isn't getting paid billions of dollars and $1 million to sell an agenda. It's all about money and about ratings. That's it. They don't care about the truth. They care about ratings, and that's it. So my deal is this. If you look in between the lines, there is the truth. It is out there. You just have to look hard for it. It's buried underneath a lot of bias and a lot of crap, but there is truth. And that's where I want to bring this platform out. I want to bring this platform to a point to where I get people to talk about the issues, not just from a left-right paradigm, but the actual issue, not from the perspective of CNN versus Fox News or the left versus the right. No, we're Americans. We should be unified. That's the ground of that. That's the whole foundation of our country. We fought a whole civil war, and after the Civil War, we still had to go through, Reconstruction, and then we really figured out. I mean, I'm old enough to remember after 9/11 when we were all attacked, and we all looked at this flag right here, and we all got choked up. I still do. That's why I still carry it everywhere I go. But the point is, we're Americans first. We're not Democrats. We're not Republicans. We're Americans. And that's my aim. That's my goal. I want people to wake up and stop looking at things through this stupid narrow perspective, because that's what's destroying us. Is this need to have to be to be part of a collection of people, like, oh, I'm part of this team and I'm part of that team. No, there is one team, Team America. That's what I'm on. So if you're sitting here thinking that somebody's wrong just because they represent a certain viewpoint from a certain source, then you're thinking the wrong way. Look at the merit of their argument and look at what they're talking about, and then make that determination. Don't sit there and say, oh, he voted for Trump, therefore he's evil. That doesn't make any sense, because there's a lot of good people that voted for Trump. There's a lot of bad people that voted for Trump. There's a lot of bad people that voted for Hillary. There's a lot of good people that voted for Hillary. The point is the media get you stirred up. They get that emotion. They get that guttural instinct inside your head, thinking, oh man, maybe they are bad people. Maybe they are KKK, and maybe all of them are like the people in Charlottesville and all this stuff. No, that's not true. I know some very, 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 very staunch Republicans that really love this country, and they'll defend it till the day that they die. And they're one of the sweetest people that I know. And I also know some Democrats that are the sweetest people ever too. They just have a different viewpoint. They believe so strongly in something that they just can't let go and let things be. See, the reason that I am a libertarian is because I believe that the Constitution trumps everything. No pun intended. It has nothing to do with Trump. I believe that the Constitution trumps everything. That if it's in the Constitution, it should stay there, it should stick there, and that should apply overall. Because our founding fathers are very smart people. They're very smarter than what we have going on right now in government, I guarantee you. These people envisioned a country where we didn't even have cars yet. And they thought of, we're going to unify the east and west coast of America. I mean, just think that's inconceivable. We don't have those kinds of people with those kinds of ideas nowadays. I mean, and that's not even the founding fathers. That was, 100 years later. Those are the people carrying on their will. But the people that founded this country, they saw a nation budding. The people that saw separate colonies, similar to what's going on today. The North and the South, they saw the divide, and they were making concession after concession and making this government work. That's why in the Constitution they don't talk about slavery, because it's it would piss off a certain demographic of people. Therefore, it didn't get in there, even though that the founding fathers wanted it to be in there. Them being slave owners themselves, they wanted to be abolitionists, but they didn't want to piss off the South-based economy. And anyways, it wasn't because of the invention of the cotton gin that slavery was on its way out. Anyways, that's why they didn't even mention it, because it was like it was an economy that was failing anyways. But once the introduction of the cotton gin came in, you could do so much more work a day, with less people, and they ended up saying, oh, well, now we need slavery, and then they went to war for it. I mean, anyways, long story short, we're getting way off topic here. The point is that this nation has always had division, no matter what time in place in history you look at in this nation. We've always had our problems. We've always had this group of people and that group of people, but we've all learned how to come together. But I just don't see this type of country with the millennials and all these people that have these ideologues. They don't ever reach out to the other side and say, hey, listen, how do you feel about this? I see it on the right. I do. I honestly do see it on the right. I do see people on the right looking towards the left and saying, you know what, I want to know what you feel about this. And that they'll willingly sit there and talk to people that are openly hostile towards them instead of, you know, getting into fights and all that, because they want to learn. They want to hear the other side's story. It's sad. I was watching these protests and these these Antifa guys, you know, hurling insults from across the way. The police are sitting there dividing the two, and then you have one of the black bloc guys, you know, sitting here black blocked up and you know, hurling insults and doing all that stuff in the middle of where all these conservatives were standing, and then they were just like, do you realize that like if we were standing over on that side doing what you're doing here right now, like it would be we would totally be getting our asses jumped right now, right? Like you do realize that's true, but I don't know why. There's just a certain thing about the left right now that just wants to be militant and wants to quote unquote resist and get into violence. I don't know why. I don't know why it's there. It's there because of people like Maxine Waters saying, let's go ahead and make a scene. You know, you see one of these people out there, you make them uncomfortable and you cause a crowd and you make them leave and stuff like that. No, I'm sorry, but that has no place in our country. If you're an American and you believe in this flag and you actually care about this flag, you look at that person and you say, you're an idiot. You do not know what this country stands for. And going back to my personal beliefs and what I personally understand about this country, it's all about concession. You have to look at the other side and say, okay, your side has legitimacy. Your side has a right to not only exist, but has a platform to stand upon. And I see that. I can see that happening. But people need to start doing their own research. Because if you're sitting here listening to Stephen Colbert or, you know, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel for your news, I'm sorry, my friend, but you're lost. You're lost. If you're sitting here watching Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson for your news, you're lost. You're very, very lost. Because they're not going to give you all of the truth. They're going to give you their perspective and what their bosses have told them to give you. Van Jones, he's going to have what his boss tells him to give to you. That's all that it is. It comes down to ratings and it comes down to money. They know the Russia story is BS. They know that it's a quote-unquote nothing burger, as the aforementioned Van Jones is talking about, saying that it was. But yet they keep pushing it, which is funny. But the long and the short of it is this. We need to come together. We need to get in this flag and actually grab hold of it. Because if we don't, this country's screwed. This country is absolutely screwed if we don't get a hold of this flag and actually get behind the meaning of it. I mean, look at it. This is the most beautiful flag in the world, and it represents has meaning. Has the 13 stripes for the 13 original colonies. It has the stars, the 50 stars for the 50 states. I mean, everything about it has meaning. The colors have meaning. I mean, it's just amazing to me how many people just take it for granted. I know so many people that just don't pay attention to politics, don't care, don't vote, don't engage in anything like that. And it bothers me. It really does. It bothers me in such a way that I just want to act. I want to take action. I want to make sure that my voice gets out there so that I can tell people, you know what, you need to wake up. You need to get out there and be active. If you think that things are wrong, fix it. If you think that your friends and your family are doing something wrong or part of something that you don't agree with, talk to them. If you think that if you have a friend or a family member who, you know, you've lost touch with because of this divide in this nation, reach out to that person. Ask them why they think that way. My friends, I've lost so many people in my life because of this election. I've had so many people cut me out of their life over politics. I've had family members link me to, you know, Ku Klux Klan groups saying, "Oh, those are your people." Do they understand? I mean, I'm gonna share a personal story. When I was locked up, I got beaten by my own white people. I got beaten because I'm not racist. I got beaten because, or broken off, so to speak. I got beaten because I didn't agree with their rules. And I was playing dominoes with the black inmates, and I was sharing food with black inmates, and I was hanging out with black inmates and sitting down at the black table, and everything was segregated. And yeah, I got straight up preyed upon and beaten because I was viewed as a race traitor. And it's just because I don't care about that stuff. I look at what's inside people's hearts. I look at what's inside people's minds and what they're saying and what their spirit is. I don't care about what the color of your skin is or what your nationality is or where you're from. I look at the character of who you are. And it's cost me. And you know how much that hurts me to hear the term racist thrown my way? But it happens so often. That word has lost all meaning now because the left has just thrown that word around so much. It's almost like the word Nazi now that they're trying to label everybody. Anybody you don't agree with is a Nazi. But, I mean, this is just a heartfelt message from me, from one person to the internet, really. I mean, I just want to heal the divide. I want to make sure that we're all in this together. And if we're all willing to talk to each other, we can't even talk to each other anymore. We can't even have a conversation. I mean, my friends, this has got to stop. This has to stop. Something has to come to a head here. We have to come together and at least listen to one another. And that's my goal. That's my aim. And that's what I plan to do. And if you're down with this, if you actually want to seriously, like, you know, become part of what we're doing here, I mean, subscribe to this channel and subscribe to what we're doing, because that's actually what is going to help. I mean, we need to start conversations, and I want to start a Discord server. I want to start, you know, engagements with people and start my, you know, giving my opinions and so on and so forth. However, right now I need a platform, and it all starts with you guys. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel, get the conversation going, because God wills it. I mean, there's a reason that I started this. And I want you to pick up where I left off. Go talk to your friends. Go talk to your neighbors. Go talk to the people that you disagree with, because you have more in common with them than you actually think you do. Anyways, and I'm going to leave it at that. Everybody have a fantastic night.